Hi everybody, my name is Dave Marsh and I'd like to welcome you to this Matrix version 6.1 carts tutorial. Now before I begin, I'd like to mention that because each MLS has slightly different requirements, the system that we'll be using during this tutorial may differ slightly from the one that you're currently working with. Nevertheless, the functionality is the same, and for the most part, whatever you see during this tutorial, you'll easily recognize in your own system. Now I'm going to take for granted that everyone knows how to log into Matrix, so we'll start by inserting our user ID and our password, then click Login to begin. Okay, so the first thing I'd like to draw your attention to is one of the widgets on the home page called My Carts. And this is essentially a repository for all your recently used carts. Now we're going to take a closer look at that shortly, but for now, I'd just like to make you aware of it. Okay, so let's begin the carts tutorial by creating a search. And again, for anyone who may be unsure of how I pre-populated my search criteria, I encourage you to watch the Matrix search tutorial. In the meantime, let's assume I have 3 clients, each looking for active, single-family, residential properties for sale in the Fairfield area for between $200,000 and $300,000 with 3+ bedrooms and 2+ bathrooms. So we can see with our search criteria that we currently have 297 matches. Okay, so I'm going to click on the results, and this will take us to our search results section. Alright, so at this point, I'd like to discuss the origin and the purpose of carts. When an agent first creates a new contact, a cart is automatically generated as well. And these client carts are essentially used to help organize listings from any number of searches into one convenient location for the agent. In a nutshell, think of carts as an internal workspace that allows you to add listings from any result set. Let's demonstrate this by selecting 3 of these listings for my client, Mr. Weiser, and begin by adding them to his cart. And we'll do this by clicking the Cart tab on the button bar, then choosing Mr. Weiser from the drop-down list. And in this particular case, you can see that Bud currently has no listings in his cart. Alright, so once your client is selected, simply click Add to Cart, and what you'll immediately notice is the 3 selected listings have now been added to Mr. Weiser's cart. So again, from the button bar, let's now click on View to take a look at the listings inside Bud's cart. On this page, you can clearly see that we're in Bud Weiser's cart. From here, you essentially have the same functionality as you would with the original search results. One thing worth mentioning, however, is when you create an auto email from a cart, only the specific cart listings are monitored, not the search criteria. The auto email recipient will only be notified if there are any changes, for example, to the listing price, status, or remarks. If new listings are added to the cart after an auto email has already been created, a new auto email should be created to include these new listings. Okay, so let's cancel out of this and click on Original Results to return to our initial results set. Now let's add listings to a cart for another client, Mr. Maddock. At this point, it's important to mention that we could add to this cart from any search. For the sake of this tutorial, however, I'm only choosing to use listings from the same search. Okay, so now let's deselect Mr. Weiser's previously tagged listings and select these 7 listings that we're interested in adding to Mr. Maddock's cart. Okay, so now with our new listing selected, let's select Mr. Maddock in the drop-down list and add these listings to his cart. So with Auto still selected, I'll open up his cart, and we see that 2 of those listings have previously been emailed to him. Now, since there's no sense in sending him the same listings twice, let's remove these listings from his cart and we'll email the other 5 at a later date. Okay, so now let's return to the original results set again, and we'll add more listings to a third cart, Miss Perman. Once again, let's clear out our previously selected listings. And again, I'm going to select 5 listings and this time place them in Miss Perman's cart. Click on View, and we see that Sue currently has 5 listings in her cart. Now let's say that we just realized that this listing would be perfect for Mr. Maddock. Well, with Matrix Carts, you can easily copy listings from one cart to another simply by selecting the listings, choosing the client that you'd like to copy it to, then clicking on the Add To button. And voila, Mr. Automatic now has 6 listings in his cart. Okay, so if you remember at the beginning of this tutorial, we saw on the home page a widget called My Carts. Well, let's take a closer look at that now and see exactly what it can do for us. The My Carts widget is essentially a collection of the most recent carts that you've worked with. It's a one-click stop that immediately takes you to your client's accumulated cart listings. In addition to the client button bar and the homepage widget, a third way of viewing client carts is by navigating to My Matrix, clicking on Contacts, and finally clicking on the number in the carts column. Okay, so that concludes our Matrix Cart tutorial. I'd like to thank you for watching and hope that you can join me in another session. Take care.